Welcome to making Facebook ads with Photoshop. And this is a lot of people have approached me for this because so many people, writers, people with ideas are posting ads on Facebook, and they're hiring people to do their Facebook ads, but it's so convenient when you can do it yourself. Knowledge of Photoshop for creating Facebook ads is very powerful. So I'm going to show you what I've done here, and then I'm going to actually show you how to create your ad. What I've done here is I have several ads in one Photoshop document, which is very handy. And let's hide that guy, and let's hide that title, and let's show one ad here. This is one of my ads for Photoshop. Maybe I don't like that background. Maybe I want to have this background instead of that background, or maybe instead of that text, I want to have this text here, and maybe I want to get rid of that guy behind him. This is all in one Photoshop document. So let's get down to actually how we can get this done. At the bottom of this video, you'll find a link where you can download this grid. This is a Facebook grid, and the rule is you can only have text in 5 of these boxes. Count them, 5. And so, like, you can put. Let me choose a different color here. You can have text maybe all the way across here, or let's see. I have a little panel here that helps me get rid of that. Or I could have text there, and text there, or I could have text here and there. And that's the way it works. As long as you only have text in 5 of these boxes, your ad photo is good to go. That's the only rule. I almost said it's a stupid rule, but it is the Facebook rule. Therefore, it is not stupid. So here's the grid, and in Photoshop I can see the width and height of this grid. And so the width and height of the Facebook grid is 2400 pixels by 1256 pixels. Now, actually, if you divide the width and height by 2, which is going to give you 1200 by 658, something like that, that's the actual size that they suggest. But the professionals that build these ads say make it twice as big, and then for higher resolution devices like your iPads, iPhones, Samsung Galaxies, the pictures actually show up much better. It shows up in higher resolution. So what you want to do is you want to download this grid, and then you're ready to get started. The first thing you do is open this grid in Photoshop, and then you're going to go File, Save As. And to go File, Save As, and I'm just going to call this my ad. So the first thing I'm going to do is open the grid and just give it some new name so that I can use the old grid again. And then what I'm going to do is now that you've signed up on how to get this done, here at BuildTheGeek.com members, the first video you want to check out, if you haven't done so thus far, is organizing your images in Adobe Bridge. Adobe Bridge comes with Photoshop. It's quite handy. So I'm just going to go, I want a background image to put in here, so I just go File, Browse in Bridge. Bridge is going to open up for me, and then I'm just going to find an image to put in the background, and in this case maybe I'll use this one right here. I just double click it and it's going to open up. Here's my image, and I'm going to put this image in the My Ad Photoshop document. And mixing images in Photoshop is down here. It's called Merging Images in Adobe Photoshop right here. So just go there, follow the instructions. It's real easy. You'll see me do it right here. Here is my image from my Samsung Galaxy 3. I just undock it, and then I just drag it. It's going to give me a warning, mixing colors thingy. I just click OK. Now my image is in here. Now, what I'm going to do now is transform the image so it actually fits into the 2400 by 1200 1268 environment. And you're going to find that here under the free transform tool. That is what I'm about to use. So I have my toolbar over here. I'm going to zoom out. You'll see why in a second. I zoom out and I'm going to go Edit, Free Transform. And this is my whole image here. It's bigger than this in here. So I go Edit, Free Transform. This is the outside of my image. I hold my Shift key down to constrain aspect ratio as I drag inward, and I just try to make it fit pretty close to that box. Hit Enter on the keyboard. This is all covered in the free transform video, and I just drag that around a little bit and let's take a peek in my layers panel so I can see what's going on. Get rid of that altogether. Here's my grid down here. Grid's still there. There's my new image. I keep my grid in the back layer for right now, but let's say I want more than one image in there. I might go browse in bridge again. And where is my bridge? There we go. There's my bridge. Maybe I want a daytime scene instead of just that beach scene. So I can drag this down here, undock it, drag this into this image. I get the same warning. Don't worry about it. And now, notice I can't see it. It's in this layer here. So I can just hide this layer, drag this up a bit. Once again, I'll go Edit, Free Transform, and scale that sucker down. There you go. Maybe scale it up just a little bit. So there you go. So now I have two images to choose from. Here's my grid. Maybe I want to use this image, or maybe I want to use this image. And to work with layers, because all of these guys are stacked up in Photoshop layers, and this is where you want to go into here and find working with layers in Adobe Photoshop CC. 9 minutes on working with your layers. Now, once you have your, notice I have two background images. It's just, why not? I can take my grid, I'm going to drag my grid up here to the top so I can see the grid. Now, I'm going to go back into my finished product over here so that we can talk about text and text backgrounds and all that kind of thing. But you can see if I put my grid on top of everything by just dragging it to the top layer, then I can just start putting backgrounds or colors. And let's do it. I'll make a new layer. And I'll choose a nice red ugly color for some text. And maybe I only have 5 boxes to work with. So maybe I'm going to put some text above my ugly red background. And then maybe I'm going to put the title of this ad here. I'll call it My Facebook ad, which we can't see, but we will be able to see it in a second because I'm going to, first of all, change the color. And this is covered in our video that we have a whole special segment down here on working with text. Just working with text, and the way that I applied that background is under making shapes, circles, and squares. So I go back into Photoshop, and I'm just going to go Edit, Free Transform, and make my text bigger. My Facebook ad, I'll put it right there. And the text can be as large or as small as you would like it to be. Made a little mistake here. Not a problem. So there you go. So the basic rule of thumb is to download the grid and always start with the grid. Drag your images into the grid and you're ready to go, and then add your text as long as your text is only in 5 boxes. In my situation over here, well, I have my grid hidden. You want to watch the Working with Layers video again. Very important, so you can see how I've got my layers all organized. The selection tools section is very important also, how to keep stuff and get rid of stuff in an image, but the Working with Layers video will really get you there. Now, in my situation here, I've got my grid here, and I can hide it, but I leave it open. And if I hide this guy, let's see, text, bottom, text, 5 squares in a row. If I hide that and hide the guy, you can see when I showed my text right here. Where's that? That's the top guy trying to find my 5 squares in a row. Notice that my text fits right over the grid box. It fits right over that grid box. And if your text is slightly over, like if I take this text right here, and let's see here. Here we go. Right there. If I take this text and the guy, if he's right on the line, if this text is right on the line, then Facebook is not going to allow that. That's why the grid is so important. All of your text, no matter how much text if you can put 1 million pieces of text in here, as long as it fits in 5 boxes, you're okay. Now, once I've dragged my images in, I've got my text in, and everybody's good to go, what I'll do is I'll hide my grid like that. And then maybe I want to change backgrounds. Why not? There you go. Maybe this background didn't work so well. Maybe this background will work better in an ad. So once I get everything all situated, I just go File, Save for Web. File, Save for Web, and before I do that, Save for Web has its own little segment down here at the very bottom. It's down here somewhere. Save for, here we go. Saving images for web pages. Save for Web, right here, 12 minutes. So find the video, watch that, but I'm going to use it now, and I'm going to go File, Save for Web, and I'm going to save this image at maximum quality. And now, looky here, I'm saving it as a JPEG file, maximum quality. That's huge, 1.283 meg. Facebook may not accept that, so I'm going to make it high quality. That's going to make it 345K. Facebook will surely accept that. And I'm going to make it progressive. This is covered in the Save for Web dialog box. Now, this is the beauty of Photoshop. If I save this thing, it's going to say, oh, where do you want to save it? And I'll put it in this folder, in the Photoshop folder. And that's fine. And I'm just going to call this, I'm going to call it Add 1. And I save it. I'm done. Notice this file is still called video demo blah, 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 blah. By saving it as the way I just saved it, it doesn't do anything to the file that I'm working in here called video demo 2400 by 1256. So now I'm going to show this background here. I'm going to hide that and show this. And where'd that other guy go? And show this guy. So I have a totally different image. So now I'm going to go File, Save for Web. I'm going to use high quality. This is going to be 459K. I think Facebook will accept that. If I double click this little hand tool up here, I can see the entire image. I click Save. And I'll call this my Add 2. So notice I still have my Add 1. I have my Add 2. I still have my original Photoshop document to go in and save it later. And I'll just click Save. This is the beauty of Photoshop. I'm just hiding and showing layers so that I can use this one environment to create Facebook ads for years and years to come. So there you go. There is how to make Facebook ads, and I hope you found that helpful. And if you would like some one-on-one tutoring, feel free to give me a jingle and give me a call at 415-839-0096. I'm Bill the Geek, and thanks for the view.